No, I guess I should probably pull it up and check, huh?
Yeah.
Am
I doing this right?
Mess. We're a mess.
All right, I think we're live.
Yeah, we're live.
All right, run the intro, Joel. That's me. Hello and welcome to episode 143 of the Pixel Street Podcast, where each and every week, just some nerds get together and talk about video games. You know, John?
Yeah, it's a good time, and here I am in lovely Walt Disney World.
Yeah, strange that they have an outlet right there for your computer.
Yeah, it's the place of dreams. It's where dreams are made. So, yeah, I'm a little sweaty and everything, but it's all good.
All good in the hood. Yeah, I'm your host this week, Joel Campos, and joining me is none other than John Nacho Cheese Machine Hansen.
It'll be here one day.
So I just want to get ahead of it. We hit 100 subs on YouTube, which is pretty awesome. You can see right here, if you're watching it, you can see 100 subscribers, which is awesome. And so now we get to have a custom URL once I get a few days past or something.
Once YouTube gives us the chance to change it, we will.
Yeah, exactly. So it won't be all this hodgepodge gibberish in our URL. It will say Pixel Street Videos. So
yeah. Super excited for that.
Thanks
so much for subscribing. Some fun stuff is on the way in the future, I really think. So it's going to be a good time.
Yeah, for sure. But kind of in lieu of that, I want to try and get John to get his nacho cheese machine for 100 subscriber special. How can we make this happen, John?
I'll probably have it. I'm going to see my dad for the first time since 2 Christmases ago on June 5th.
Okay, so that's going to be the 100. If you get it then, that's going to be the 100 subscriber special.
I should have it then.
Yeah. Is John reviewing his nacho cheese machine with different
of course I am. We've been building up to this for so long. I'm 100% reviewing it. And I'm going to review it like I review video games. Like I'm just going to go in with like that review mindset.
You love to see it. But yeah, this week we are going to be talking about how Blizzard is losing a lot of players and why we think that might be. Ubisoft announcing the Division Heartland, which is their next game, which is a free-to-play game. Both Sony and Valve have been sued over digital store game monopolies, so it's getting pretty spicy.
Yeah, a lot of stuff coming out of that Apple and Epic trial. Like, it's too much stuff.
And really? that happened like a year ago at this point, right?
Apple and Epic thing?
Yeah.
No, the trial's going on right now.
No, I know the trial is, but like that started like probably.
Where Epic said that they were gonna take him. I don't think it was
early fall.
I think it was like fall time.
September probably. So yeah, I mean, like
something like that.
Crazy that we're finally seeing, the ramifications of all that, and that's starting to trickle down. But we'll get into that in a little bit. But before we get to that, let's get some housekeeping out of the way. I already showed you. Go follow it. Go subscribe to us on YouTube. We're posting videos pretty consistently there. You see, we got a video 19 hours ago. We have another video 1 day ago. We have a video 5 days ago, 6 days ago, 1 week ago. Come on now, go watch these videos.
Yeah, just to get ahead of it, me and Joel will be absent next week, so we're not sure if there will be a podcast. Connor says he will host one, but come on, it's Connor. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I would be happy getting Connor to play like one of his fighting games for an hour,
right?
And post it or something.
I'm
just curious. Yeah, I want to know
just
about
stream it. Like, he doesn't even have to edit it. Like, that's my job to like edit the videos. Like, he can just stream it. Like, I don't know what's so hard about that. Whatever.
Yeah, but
hit up Connor at The Real Birch and call him a brony.
Yeah, he loves it.
He absolutely loves
it. YouTube.com/ConnorIsBrony is going to be our URL.
Yes.
But yeah, go follow us on Twitter at Pixel Street. Sorry, I'm burping a little bit. Yeah, you can find our pin tweet there where you can find us on all of our socials. You can join our Discord through there. We want to do another community game night here probably in the next month or so. Next few weeks.
Yeah, it'll probably be a few weeks.
Yeah. I want to play this game called What the Dub. I don't know if you've heard of that, John.
I haven't. What is it?
It's kind of it's made by a different company, but it's like a Jackbox game where it plays you like an old-timey clip from a movie and you fill in the blank and then it reads it in like a robotic voice. It's really fun.
Okay, so you're not like actually performing it.
No.
Okay, because I was gonna say if it was me performing it, I would be awful at that.
Oh yeah, me too. So yeah, definitely join our Discord and follow us on Twitter to find out more on that. Finally, wherever you're watching or listening to the show, be sure to like, comment, rate, all the good stuff. Just let us know how we're doing. We like all feedback, whether it's good or bad. Let us know what you want to see more on the YouTube channel.
And the podcast.
Yeah, and the podcast. Is
there like a new segment we should incorporate or something? Let us know.
Let us know. Yeah, other than that, I guess let's just get into some of the news.
Let's do it.
I'll let you take this first one because you know a lot more about Blizzard than I do.
All right. So there was a Activision Blizzard earnings call recently, just yesterday as we're streaming this. And there was some interesting numbers given out during this earnings report. So overall, Blizzard, so we're talking Overwatch, Diablo, Warcraft, like just Blizzard properties, they're actually up 7% in revenue. So they're still making money, but they continuously are losing millions and millions of monthly players. So this dip started in 2018, where in quarter one they had 38 million players. As of yesterday, they're seeing about 27 million players. So they have lost 11 million players over 3 years. That is, I mean, it's odd that they're still making money because I don't think there's not really many microtransaction games for them. So people are still buying games from them, but they're losing their players.
I mean, World of Warcraft is a monthly sub, so
that is true, and that is actually a very big reason why they are making money at the moment.
Easily. The fact that they haven't budged on their $15 a month subscription blows my mind.
Yeah. Real quick, here's a quote. It doesn't say who this is from, but it's from someone with Activision Blizzard. World of Warcraft saw strong reach, engagement, and participation in value-added services, along with a particularly high number of new players joining the community for the first time, boosted by initiatives to enhance the onboarding experience. So it seems from what they're saying that World of Warcraft is still growing, and that is their big money earner still, at least as of the moment.
I mean, we kind of knew that was the case, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's probably like, always going to be the case.
World of Warcraft is probably arguably one of the largest games ever made, I'd say.
Yeah, when did it come out? Like 2005?
01, 04, 04, 03, something like that?
Yeah, I'm not sure. But it's still going huge, even with the subscriber count or the subscription need. But yeah, let's talk about it. Like, looking away from World of Warcraft, why is Blizzard losing its players? Like 11 million, like even though they're still at 27 million players, that is a ton of people, but you just dropped 11 over the last few years. That is significant.
I mean, Diablo has to take a part in that, right? How many people, myself included, played through Diablo 3, played through, a lot of hours in the end game, and then just nothing. And then a DLC came out, which is probably around this 2018 time, right? When the DLC probably dropped.
That probably was the last DLC where they added a new character, a new class.
Yeah, and that's when I played a lot of Diablo, is when that DLC dropped, because they came out with the, I forget what it was called, but it was kind of like an all-inclusive bundle on Xbox. Xbox One. Sure. And I played a lot there. So, I mean, I imagine a large... Let's say 4 to 5 million of that is just people who got bored of playing Diablo 3 because there was, not really new content coming.
Mm-hmm. And really, that's kind of the same thing with Overwatch. We've been waiting a long time now with Overwatch 2. Just in the distant future, we're just constantly waiting. And I love the game. I've been playing it a lot, especially this last week.
It's gonna
But
be. It's 5 years old, John.
it's five
That
years old
blows
in
my
10 days.
mind.
In 10
That
days, it's
blows my
5 years old.
mind.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, there's no like there's no real content there to bring people back unless you really enjoy the game like I do. Um, yeah, no, it's definitely a big part of this is uh, Blizzard taking so long with their releases, Diablo 4, Overwatch 2. But they've got the World of Warcraft expansions that are carrying them over until that time.
And like, there's
Also,
nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean?
yeah,
They're
no,
still
there's nothing wrong
making
with
money.
that. That's gonna happen in the gaming industry. But also, really, when I think of why they're losing their players, the big part is Activision and all the controversies we've seen with Blizzard over the years. The Blitzchung thing with China, the the BlizzCon where they announced Diablo Immortal. You guys all have phones, don't you? Like that isn't great stuff for what makes Blizzard Blizzard. Like Blizzard is all about the community, the big epic adventures and everything. Everyone coming together and just enjoying video games. That hasn't been Blizzard for a while now. Like over the last few years, they've really lost their identity and they're losing their players because of it.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, I'm not too worried about it because like we have Diablo 2, the remake or
Yeah,
remaster.
that's
I don't
coming
know.
out this year.
Yeah, and so that they're gonna get a big bump there, right, this
Hmm.
year. And then whenever Diablo 4 comes out, I have to imagine it's 2022 at some point, right?
I don't know. Overwatch 2, I definitely think is 2022. That will be a big bump. With Diablo 4, who knows, man? Like, I would hope it'd be 2022, but it could be 2023. Like, it's Blizzard. We don't know with them.
Either way, like that game alone is gonna spike
Oh,
that
yeah.
number drastically.
Anytime Blizzard releases a game, it's going to spike them because they're that important of a company. But I really think since they merged with Activision, it's really pushed away some people. Because I mean, I don't need to give anyone a history lesson on Activision. They're
Yeah.
Activision. So, yeah, we'll see.
If you hate Call of Duty, it's probably tied into Activision in your mind.
Yeah, for
So
sure. Or Destiny when it was a part of Activision. Like
yeah,
it that's just the kind of rap you get when you have an Activision name attached to yours. Um, but no, I still love Blizzard. I think they're gonna get their fans back at some point. At least I would hope. I mean, they're just too big of an entity to continuously lose players, right?
yeah. I mean, I feel like we're just like talking about nothing almost because it's like, oh no, they lost 11
Slow
million
news week.
players in the last 4 years, but like they still fucking are making millions on millions of dollars
Yeah,
a year
for sure.
in profit, and that's in profit. That's not just
Yeah,
they're not losing any money. They're still making a shit ton of money.
no. Yeah, no. Consider that they're making 7% more money than they're spending at a time where they are losing players. And then when you factor in Overwatch 2, Diablo 2, Diablo
Yeah.
4, another World of Warcraft expansion, like they're just going to spike even larger.
Yeah, I
So
think
I'm not worried about it.
that 7.5% is gonna, when Diablo 2 comes out, is gonna go up to like above 10%, guaranteed.
Hmm.
Just in sales alone, because that game's gonna sell like crazy. And
Yeah.
then the same thing's gonna happen with Overwatch 2, which, man, like I'm so mad I didn't get in on Overwatch earlier than I did. Because
Yeah.
I feel like that game in particular was probably really special, like the first like 5 months it came out.
It was, man. There was definitely some bumps along the way, but I'll say the first 2 years of it were just a special time. Really look back on that time fondly. After that is when things got a little crazy and out of hand. But oh, I'm just ready for Overwatch 2, man,
Yeah, I'm excited to play Overwatch 2 when it comes out.
for sure.
Um, I guess should we move on?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's move on. Moving on, Ubisoft has announced the Division Heartland. Some bullet points that John put down here. It's a free-to-play game for PC, consoles, and cloud streaming. It's coming sometime this year or next year in 2022, which makes me think it's for sure coming next year. If you're going to put that kind of speculation, it's just kind of like,
right.
all right, it's coming next year.
Yeah, for sure.
It's also a mobile Division game. There's also a mobile Division game.
This is not the mobile game. Yeah. They have one in development.
There's still a movie in development with Netflix. TBD date on that. Division 2 is getting more content. So I saw this on Twitter. I was pretty busy at work today, so I didn't get to look into it. Is it just like a new Division game? Like, what is this exactly?
They literally, all they said was, we are here. Let me find the thing. Today, we're pleased to share that Tom Clancy's The Division Heartland, a free-to-play game set in the Division universe, is in development at our Red Storm studio. And that's pretty much all they said on the game. Like, with it being Heartland, it's probably set in the Midwest, so that makes me think Chicago.
I'm down for that.
I'm pretty sure that's going to be set in Chicago, because the first one was New York, second one was DC.
Yep.
So it's going to be another big city. Heartland is the Midwest, but definitely not Iowa.
I honestly could see it not being in Chicago, because in this thumbnail picture they have, these trees don't look very Chicago at all to me.
You know what? That is a very good point.
Like, this looks like it's going to be like the middle of nowhere almost.
You know what? I didn't even really take a good look at the image they had, and yeah, it does look really rural.
Yeah.
Man, what if it is in Iowa? What if it's in Durant, Iowa?
It's gonna be at that the world's largest truck stop. That's gonna be the hub.
There you go. The Iowa 80 truck stop.
It's gonna be the hub.
Oh man, that'd be awful.
But I mean, I'm all for it. I mean, I guess free to play is one way to go with the Division, but
yeah, that really makes me wonder about the microtransactions attached.
That worries me. That worries me a lot. I like, in my mind, I'd rather pay $60 for a game and not have to worry about buying microtransactions.
Right.
But I mean, I could see why they would go this route. Maybe, I don't know. I feel like the Division 2 player base probably dropped off drastically after the first few months when people like beat the game and saw what the end game was.
Yeah, that's kind of what I did. Like, I enjoyed it. I reviewed it a long time ago, and I think I gave it like a 7 or something like that. It was a good game, but yeah, once I hit the end game, I was like, okay, I'm done.
Like, in my mind, at any given point, I only have time for one kind of what's the genre called? Where it's like I'm having a brain fart. Like Destiny, looter shooter. There you go. I only have time for like one main looter shooter at a time, and for me, most of the time is Destiny. Right now, this is gonna sound weird, but my looter shooter is MLB The Show, which is weird to think of because it very much
of Diamond Dynasty.
Yes, it very much is like a looter shooter in a way. So yeah, right now that's where my head's at, and you know, I'll get bored with the show in a month or two, and then I'll move on to the next one. That's just how I am. Honestly, it'll probably just be me moving right back to Destiny 2.
Some quick notes on Red Storm Studios, the team that is making Heartland. Looks like they've been making Tom Clancy games since the 90s. 97 was their first one. Not just Tom Clancy games, but like, it looks like mostly Rainbow Six. There's a little Ghost Recon in here. They also worked on Far Cry 3 and 4, and they helped with Division 2. It looks like they're mostly they're a studio that helps the bigger studios, it seems. So this might be a smaller game, at least on launch.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense that they'd want to pump another one out, you know, sooner rather than later, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Because I feel like they could just bring a lot of the assets over from Division 2.
I'm kind of worried that we're going to see, like, too much Division coming up now. Because you got Division 2 that they said is getting a new game mode and more content on the way as well. We know Division 3 is not in the works because that team is working on a Star Wars game, right? Or was it
I
something
don't
else?
remember.
It was Ubisoft Massive. What are they working on?
I think it's a Star Wars game.
Yes, yeah, it's a Star Wars game.
Here's they have a timeline here of the Division universe. You ready?
Yeah.
Division 1, then Division 2, then Division 2 Warlords of New York, which I think is their most recent thing that came out.
Yeah.
Up next on their timeline is Division Heartland, which is either this year or next year.
Yep.
And then after that is the Division 2 new content. So that's coming after Heartland. So I wonder if it's tied into it in some way or another. I don't know. And then after that, you have Division Mobile, which I have no idea what the hell that could be. No clue.
I have no interest in that.
And then you have the Division novel, which is a book they're making.
That's the thing, isn't it? The Division already a book because it's Tom Clancy, right?
I don't think the Division is a book itself. I think it's just like got the Tom Clancy name on it. Unless it's just like a new novel in the series. I don't know, but they don't have any of the novels on here.
Well, Tom Clancy died a few years ago, so it's not him making the book, obviously.
Yeah.
Is Tom Clancy's The Division
there is a book
based on a book?
It's called Tom Clancy's The Division New York Collapse.
Yeah. Okay.
So I don't know why they
another one.
Another one, I guess. I don't know why they didn't put any of the other ones on here then. And then a Netflix film titled The Division. I'm sure that's a placeholder, but I could see that movie getting canceled tomorrow.
I don't know. I don't know. They've been talking about that for a long time. We know that Jake Gyllenhaal is gonna star in it. Also Jessica Chastain. And it looks like they just got a director, Rawson Marshall Thurber. I don't know who that is. A lot of Division stuff coming.
A lot of Division, probably more Division stuff than you want if you're listening to this right now.
Yeah, like I'd be fine with one of these. Like, give me Heartland, and the rest can just go away.
Yeah, dude,
I like the Division. I don't love it.
Exactly. Like, if this were like a Halo timeline, I'm all for it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But the Division, it's not that S tier yet. Like it's not something I'm dying to get.
But yeah,
they're just trying to force it at this point.
Yeah, they are for sure.
All right, John. Moving on. You want to take the next one?
All right. So as we said earlier, both Sony and Valve are being sued over digital store game monopolies. I got two different articles for this. First, we'll focus on the Sony one because that news came out first. This is from Jeremy Winslow of GameSpot. Sony is facing a potential class action lawsuit from consumers claiming it's operating a monopoly by only allowing digital PlayStation games to be purchased through the official PlayStation Store. The lawsuit states Sony barred third-party retailers like Amazon and GameStop from selling download codes for PlayStation games on April 1st, 2019, making the PlayStation Store the only place to purchase digital PlayStation games. Further, the suit claims Sony's policy swiftly and effectively foreclosed any and all price competition in the retail market for digital PlayStation games by requiring publishers who sell games on the PlayStation Store to relinquish full control over the retail price. So first, let's just focus on Sony because I wish Connor was here because obviously he has a history with GameStop. But I was working at GameStop when this change happened, and man, it sucked telling everyone that I couldn't sell them a digital code for the games they wanted on PS4, but I could for everything else. Regardless,
that's weird.
It's such a weird decision. I don't know if it really. I mean, there's been no talk if it like really did anything. Like, did that help people buy more on PlayStation? Because they could still purchase the currency from stores to just like go and buy it from the store with that currency, but they couldn't buy like the cards with the codes on them at the stores. You can't do that on Amazon.
It's weird.
It's so weird.
It's weird as a whole because I feel like, especially at GameStop, because if I go into a GameStop, right, I'm like, hey, can I buy the Division 2 digital code for PS4? And you're like, no, you can't do that. But you could buy it for $28 used. And I have that right here. And I'm going to be like, $28, let's go, let's do it. Like, I don't know. I think it's a really weird business decision. I don't know why they would do it that
Well, that's
way.
also the thing with like they can still buy the currency cards. It's like, okay, here's just another step, and you haven't stopped anything. Like it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But also, those stores they can't put that stuff on sale because they just can't sell it. So yeah, I kind of see what they're saying about like PlayStation is they are altering the prices like to what they want it to be. Um, Now let's head over to the Valve one. This article is from Leanna Rupert of Game Informer. The Epic Games versus Apple lawsuit is impacting the gaming industry dramatically as the topic of what constitutes as a monopoly comes center stage. Earlier this morning, we shared how Sony. Okay, yeah, we heard that. Um, Antitrust laws are in place to protect consumers from companies owning a monopoly over their given market, as well as protection against predatory financial practices. The court proceedings have the interest of the entire gaming community, and now Valve is the latest to get swept into the bigger conversation about its placement in the gaming hierarchy. As reported by Ars Technica, Valve abuses its market power to ensure game publishers have no choice but to sell most of their games through the Steam store, where they are subject to Valve's 30% toll, said indie game developer and Humble Bundle creator Wolfire Games in the lawsuit against Valve. Yeah, it's so hard. Let's just say I really don't think anything is going to come out of either of these lawsuits. Like, there's not going to be any changes, especially the Valve one. Like, Valve is not. I don't know how are they forcing people to sell their games on Steam. I don't see a. They're just saying that Valve is abusing it, but they're not saying how. But there is the Epic Games Store. There is the Xbox Store on PC now, which yeah, those two stores combined don't even like make up a percentage of PC downloads compared to what Steam has. But it's not a monopoly if they are both there and they're both making moves to try and cut into that pie. So I really see nothing coming out of the Valve lawsuit.
Yeah, I don't see anything coming out of that either. And I think the reason Valve is so successful is just because they've been around so long. They've developed their platform so long without anybody else trying to cut into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, you've had the Origin store show up, right? But all they sell is EA stuff. Like, you can't expect that to compete with Steam. And the fact that Steam, they have such a large install base. That's why they're killing it. That's probably how they're saying they're forcing, in quotes,
they're forcing it because they are so
because they have
huge.
all these millions on millions of downloads and like all these people who see the games on their homepage. So I mean, on one side, yeah, it sucks. This one store is so much bigger than any other store that can compete, but they've earned it.
What are you gonna do about it? Like, there's just nothing you can't. They're not forcing the monopoly just because they're big, though. Like, that's
yeah, exactly. Like, forcing a monopoly would be like, all right, we'll give you, or what did Epic Games do? They're giving the devs 30% of the sale cost, right?
No, they cut theirs from 30 to 12%.
30 to 12, yeah. So like that's more monopolizing than anything I've heard. You know what I mean? But it didn't work out for him, clearly, because Valve
and now Xbox is doing it as well. So yeah, I think it plays some kind of part into it, but not nearly. It doesn't nearly cut it. It's like just a tiny little sliver. I would suspect that it would take off there.
And the biggest complaint I hear about the Epic Game Store is that it doesn't have the features that Steam has. And it's like, it's not going to. That's been around 3 years. Steam has been around.
Yeah, that's something that comes with time.
2005, yeah.
Yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, I really don't see anything coming out of either of these. Like, even the PlayStation one, I'm like, they can still... Because they can still purchase the currency in stores, I think that might get them by with the monopoly thing. But I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know how laws work or anything.
You don't? I thought you knew.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, I'm not even gonna make a joke. I don't know.
All right, let's move on to the quick news, shall we?
Let's do it.
The Resident Evil Village early Metacritic score is at 84 on PS5. For reference, Resident Evil 7 is at 86 on PS4 for comparison. So,
yeah. So just a little bit less than Resident Evil 7, which kind of surprised me. I expected this one to be a little closer to 90. But again, very early review scores. There's going to be more that come out over the weekend, and we'll see where it stands. But it's another good looking game. I'm not gonna play it. I have been seeing a lot of people say that like even horror fans, that there's a moment in there that they like had to step away from the game. Like there was something truly creepy in there. I'm very I'm not getting the game, at least at launch, and I'm not playing it right now, but I want to know so bad what it is that is like making these early reviewers like step away from the game, because it's not like just one person, it's multiple people saying this on like Twitter and stuff.
You see, I want to play Resident Evil 7 first, but I want to play through it in VR because that's where how I started it. I just don't think I'm ever gonna get there, man. I don't have the
Halloween, man.
To do that.
We're doing Hollow streams this year. Let's do it.
I don't know
about I'll put even more effort into some Halloween streams if you do Resident Evil 7. I'll be a scared boy too.
I'll think about it. Moving on, the Celeste devs' new game is called Earthblade.
Yeah, they haven't really said.
Is it the same type of game? Do we know anything about it?
They don't know anything about it. Like pretty much all they've said is that it's Earthblade. Just want to throw it out there because Celeste, man, is a fantastic game.
That's a special game.
That was so good.
And like I remember talking about it on the podcast, that's not a game that I normally would like, but like the story in that game hooked me.
The story, the music, just the platforming, so great all around.
Moving on,
Earthblade is too.
EA has bought the Super Mega Baseball developer. What do you think's gonna come of this, John? Do you think we see an RBI baseball rival?
Well, I mean, they kind of already have that in Super Mega Baseball, right?
But
you've played that, right?
It's not licensed teams though.
No, but I mean, EA, there's definitely a better chance for them to get the license. For an arcade game. They're not going to get a simulation game, I don't think.
No, because I think that the licensing for that.
For the simulation games is held by Sony.
Yeah, exactly.
It will be for this foreseeable future.
So
really, all this does.
I think
this makes me even happier that the show is on Xbox now.
Yeah, for real. I think we do see a Super Mega Baseball kind of game that has
with MLB players.
Yeah, MLB players, because EA has the money to just pay for that license. You know what I mean?
That'd be cool. Super Mega Baseball 1 and 2 are both really good arcadey baseball games.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun.
I really enjoyed both of them.
Yep. Moving on, Fable is being made with the Forza engine.
Yeah, this isn't really surprising, but they came out and said, this is what we're building Fable in, and I mean, that game's just gonna be gorgeous, man.
I know. I can't wait till we get to a launch date so I can plan my Fable playthrough accordingly, because it's been years since I've played any of those games.
Well, yeah, it's been years since any came out. Fable's great. I love the series. I think 2 is my favorite. I know a lot of people love the first one, but 2 stands out to me as my favorite. Man, I just think about like the weather system that they have in the Forza games. That's going to be there. That water that we see that was brought into like Sea of Thieves, which is like the best looking water ever.
Yeah.
Fable's gonna be gorgeous, and I cannot wait to get my hands on it. Also, in this, this came from a job listing, and they also noted that Forza Horizon 5 is in production now as well.
Rumors that's going to be in Mexico.
Oh, cool.
That's the rumor.
I still love 3, man. 3 was great.
Yeah. Moving on, should we skip this Blizzard one? Since we kind of already talked about
it? I accidentally left that one in. My bad.
So next one, Square Enix, Sega, Bandai Namco and Gearbox are confirmed for E3.
Yep. More names added to the list. So it looks like the digital E3 is not going to be what we feared it would be, with like no one showing up. These are big names appearing. We already have Microsoft and Nintendo. Sony won't be there because Sony, but it looks like everyone else will be.
Yeah, Sony's
At
gonna
least as
Sony.
of now. Yeah, Sony's gonna Sony.
Next one, a serial killer in Elder Scrolls Online lays his victims in the shape of a giant dick.
Yep. I was looking for news earlier and found this and just thought, hey, you know what? Let's throw it in. Yeah, just this guy playing ESO came by and found a bunch of people laid in the form of a dick. So if you get
All
that
right.
on the stream, revel in its brilliance.
I do want to add one more thing to the list here.
Is it Lady Dimitrescu as Thomas the Tank Engine?
No, but I saw one where what did they do? I think they made her Shrek.
Did they? I didn't see that. I only saw the Thomas one.
Oh, well, I want to bring up the Mass Effect Legendary Edition, the trilogy that's being remastered coming out next week.
Oh,
the
performance of it.
Yeah, performance and quality modes. Interesting that PS5 performance if you favor the frame rate, you can only get up to 60 FPS at 1440p, but on the Series X you can get 120 FPS at 1440p.
Yeah,
that's significant.
Yeah, no, that is. I mean, we've heard for a while that the Series X is a little more powerful than the PS5, outside of the SSD, right? Like the SSD in the PS5, I think, is faster, but pretty much everything else is more powerful in the Series X.
Yeah, I think so.
Regardless, if Mass Effect fans are gonna enjoy it, regardless if they're playing on PlayStation or Xbox. I mean, if you've played these games and you love them, you know you're gonna love them still. They're even better than they were before. I don't think this is a big deal, but it is kind of interesting to see, because that was the story with Xbox One and PS4, like all the time, that games were running better on PS4 than they were Xbox One in the early years. So
yeah, and then that's when Phil Spencer came out and said we will not get beat, in terms of power.
Yeah.
Again, and he held true to it so far. So
yeah.
All right, John, what have you been playing?
Well, first I'll talk about a new Pokemon Snap, because that came out last week. We talked about it a bit on the show before it released, and if you've played Pokemon Snap on the Nintendo 64, you pretty much know what you're getting into with this. It's a fun little game. I haven't played a ton of it. I've been more focused on like other things. Yeah, you ride around in a cart. You take pictures of Pokemon in the habitat. You can throw fruit at them to get their attention and make them do things. It's pretty much everything a Pokemon Snap fan would want. It's been a long time coming. The first one came out in 99, I think, 98. So yeah,
it's surprising that there have been no other Pokemon Snap games until now,
especially with how much people love them. But it's great. It runs great. It's really fun. You see all these Pokemon, you just take pictures of them. Super simple stuff. The tutorial takes a bit too long. I was talking with my daughter as she was playing through it, and she's 8, so she just has no patience for that. And she was just constantly telling me, she's like, I have to skip this. I'm so bored. So yeah, the tutorial is a bit long, but once you get past that, you get to just enjoy the game. And it's I would say it's probably up there with one of the best games right now for just relaxing. We talked about this a lot last year, near the start of the pandemic, where we were looking for games that, well, especially me at least, with my anxiety, I was looking for games to just kind of chillax. Like, I didn't want anything heart racing. This would be a great game for something like that. Yeah, I recommend it if you like Pokemon. So give it a try.
print out any pictures you took?
They did make a new printer for that.
Yeah.
I'm not buying it. No, I'm not doing that. Really cool that they did that though, because that was like a callback to the original Pokemon Snap. You could take
Your memory
pictures and
card.
print them off at Blockbuster.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
Those were the good old days, man.
yeah, back when we had Blockbuster.
Back when Pokemon cards were readily available at the store.
Yeah, back before scalpers grabbed them at first notice.
Yeah. So the first game I'm going to talk about is MLB The Show.
Baby, I've been playing it as well a lot.
I can't stop. I can't stop
It's
playing
so
this
good,
game.
man.
It is so good. And so in Diamond Dynasty, the first inning program ends tomorrow. And I have, I think, 2 or 3 more levels to go to finish that completely. And I'm going to try and grind that tonight.
Do you know what level you're at? Like how many it is?
I think it's 35 total, and I think I'm at 32 or 33 right now.
Yeah, I want to say I'm around that as well. I'm close to that.
And they just added the April rewards yesterday or 2 days ago. And if you finish that, it gives you 50,000 XP.
Oh.
And I'm like 100,000 away from finishing, so.
Oh.
It's gonna be a grind because I got to do it by tomorrow at like 3 p.m. Central Time or 2 p.m. Central Time.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see
so
if I can
get
do
it done
it
tonight.
Yeah, I gotta play that tonight. I'm also in the World Series in the March to October, so I'm hoping finishing that'll give me a significant amount of XP if I win the World Series in that.
Yeah, I don't remember what it gave me when I did that. It might.
It also depends on what difficulty you're playing on as well.
Gotcha.
But yeah,
no, MLB The Show is great. Now that I've got all the achievements in the game, I'm largely just focusing on franchise because I just love the franchise mode. I love having a team, playing with them, and then building them up with trades and free agency, drafting. I love that aspect of baseball.
you
so
see,
that's
when I play franchise mode, like it's like the first 2 seasons that I play, I don't want to touch the trade system at all. Because like,
you want it to be
I want it to be
real.
as realistic as possible. And that's why I like March to October, because teams will offer you random trades throughout the season.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, like, I was like, yeah, I'll accept this fucking like blockbuster trade because it'll like, so like the first one I got was somebody wanted to trade me Ketel Marte for like 2 prospects. And I was like, boom, done. I'll take that deal in an instant. And then I got traded Trevor Story for 3 prospects, but his contract was up at the end of the season, and so I immediately took that because like I'm not gonna play with this team after the March to October, even though it does give you the option to roll it into a franchise mode.
Yeah, that is cool. I like that about it.
Yeah,
but, yeah.
So I mean I thought that was cool that I was offered such big trades because it definitely helped boost my team through the season. Having those 2 good players.
Yeah, I will say they don't do much. They don't do the blockbuster trades much. You have to do them in franchise mode. The AI will do it with each other, but they don't do it with you. I'm not sure why they never do, but
that's weird.
Yeah, but if you like go after it, like I got Alex Correa and the Blue Jays left fielder for pretty good trade away prospects. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll take it.
Cool. John, tell me about Overwatch.
I am hard back in the Overwatch competitive right now.
Let's go. I want to play Overwatch, man. I just I can't play competitive with you unless you make a Smurf account because I'm not going to drag you down like that.
Actually, I do have a Smurf account. I just haven't used it in a while, so we could do it whenever. But me and some friends, Connor's cousin Zach and some of his friends have been getting together. We've been stacking up with like 3 to 5 people mostly. 5 is the most we've gotten, so we haven't gotten that 6th person yet. But man, I'm enjoying it again. Just playing with people that you can communicate with. That's what makes Overwatch great, when you can rely on people. These being people I haven't played with much, we're still like learning how each other plays and getting used to that, because that is like back when me and Connor played in our group where we had consistent 6 stacks and everything. You learn how each other plays. You learn how they react in certain situations, and it helps out. I mean, that's just basic teamwork, really.
Yeah.
So that aspect of it is great. It's so much fun to be back into it. Um, Still waiting on Overwatch 2 though, man. I'm just so excited for that campaign mode and all the new heroes and additions to be made. But I'm really enjoying my time with Overwatch 1 again. The Archives event ended last week, I want to say. So they're not doing anything at the moment until the anniversary event, which will probably be in 2 weeks, I would guess. But yeah, Overwatch is still great, and I love it.
Yeah, I want to play more of it because I've been getting the itch. And since you're
Mm,
back into it, I mean, I feel like that's an easy way for me to get back into it. I just got to get
we'll
you
do
to
it.
get you got to get on your Smurf account, man, cuz
Yeah.
I love playing comp in games like that, but I'll
Hmm.
never queue up by myself.
Yeah,
Never.
we gotta do that. We also gotta play with Chad on PlayStation.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Hmm.
The other game, speaking of Chad, is I've been playing Box VR. Chad recommended this game to me when we were on Respawn Aim Fire a few weeks ago.
Yeah, he actually
Um,
talked about it with us
yeah,
last week.
last week, yeah. And it, like he probably said, it's basically Beat Saber but boxing. And man, so like 3 weeks ago, I started picking 3 or 4 weeks ago, I started picking up Ring Fit again and going hard into that. But I found that game not to be as rewarding. Like certain days it'd be like, all right, that was a really good workout, and other days it'd be like, all right, I feel like I didn't get much from this. Um,
Okay.
but with Box VR, like every time I play, I'm just like a sweaty, gross mess after, and I fucking love it.
Yeah, you
It's
put
just
up the one picture on our Discord, and it was you were looking pretty sweaty, boy.
that's literally me every time I play it. Like
Yeah.
that wasn't just the one time. Like I played today during lunch, and I smell right now because there's a plumber in my building, so my water's down.
All
So I was gonna shower like after working out, but I couldn't. Here, I'm gonna bring up this picture on the
right.
on the
All
thing.
right. Do it.
Yeah, this is me post box VR. Looking fabulous as always. Um, but yeah, this game is a lot of fun. I've been enjoying it a lot. I've been texting with Chad about it from time to time, and like it's just got me to want to work out more, just because
Hmm.
it is so fun. Like I think the past 14 days, I've worked out 12 of those days
Hmm.
playing this. Like playing between this Beat Saber, and Ring Fit. So yeah, it's just been a lot of fun. Um,
That's cool.
I love the game.
So when you say it's boxing but Beat Saber, is it like blocks coming at you and you have to punch them?
I mean,
I don't know what the gameplay is.
they're like orbs that come at you, and there's two different colors, just like Beat Saber.
Hmm.
Based on how it looks, it'll either be just an orb, and that's just like a straight punch, or if there's like a trail under it, you got to uppercut it, and if there's a trail to the side, you have to like hook it. If that
Hmm.
makes any sense.
Gotcha.
So it's real simple, and then sometimes there are these blocks that come, and you have to, duck beneath them, similar to
All
Beat
right. So
Saber.
yeah, that does sound very Beat Saber.
Yeah,
That's cool. That
it's a
it
lot of
with
fun, and it kicks my
the
ass.
workout games seem to be like the most interesting thing to me with like VR because like I'm surprised there isn't more of them. Like everyone's like trying to go with this like realistic approach to it, and I just don't think VR works for that. I think you really gotta like go in on um the workout stuff, the fun puzzle stuff,
I,
things
I,
like
I
that.
think I think the VR system that probably has the most potential for workouts is the Quest, just because it is fully wireless.
Yeah, yeah, we've been talking about that a lot lately. That's that's gonna have some cool stuff in it.
Yeah, because like, I'm tethered the whole time in the PSVR, and like
Hmm.
while I'm playing, there's trophies in the game, and one of the ones I was trying to get is get get 500 beats in a row or whatever. 500, I don't know what they're called, those orbs that you're hitting.
Hmm.
And I was having trouble like the past week with tracking issues. It was always, no matter which one I had in my left hand, which move controller I had in my left hand, it was always like messing up tracking wise, and so it was constantly messing up like things that I was trying to punch. But luckily today, I don't know why, it worked fine and I was able to do it. So
It'll be interesting to see if you like played that on if the if you get the VR2 for PS5 with those new with the new controllers that are they're very much like the Quest controllers where they like go around your arm and everything.
Yeah.
I would suspect that would work better. I mean, I would
think
suspect
so.
most VR controllers would work better than the Move controllers.
I mean,
Honestly,
I mean that. I mean, we've only seen like one picture of it, right? And it was like a drawing, essentially.
No, they actually showed it in someone's hand.
Oh well, it didn't have lights on it, right?
Give me a second and I'll look it up.
PSVR 2 controller. I don't remember seeing lights on it, which is, I think the lights are what. Yeah, it does not have any lights, so it's probably all just. Yeah, it does. It's probably all just like infrared tracking of some sort.
Maybe.
Which is probably 100 times better than technology from 12 years ago.
Or I have a theory, because the DualSense has a lot of the same kind of technology in it as Joy-Cons. I wonder if they've worked in the same kind of like motion tracking thing that the Joy-Cons have.
Well, so the Move controllers do have motion tracking in a sense.
Yeah.
Because if it's not, if I put it like far away from my camera, it'll start drifting because it doesn't know where it is. But if I rotate my hand around, it'll rotate perfectly.
Okay.
If that makes sense. It's just not on it's just the camera can't see it, so it just like, where is it? And it just starts like drifting off into space.
It's all based on just the camera can't find it.
Yeah. So like, but it can sense like that I shifted it a different way. If that makes sense.
With them making controllers dedicated to this VR instead of just going with the Move controllers, I would assume that they could also just. I would just assume that they would work better, like that they could find each other better.
Yeah, no problem. And the thing is, I don't have tracking issues at all with the headset itself. Like they killed that.
Yeah.
And so that's why it just tells me those Move controllers, like just that old technology. That just wasn't the answer. They should not have like shoehorned that in to be, what is used.
For sure. But they were going for a cheap VR at that point. But yeah, I think it would have been a lot better if they just made a new controller.
Yep, I agree. Well, John, with that, we end the show. This has been episode 143 of the Pixel Street Podcast. As always, you can find the podcast on Friday mornings on YouTube and your podcast platform of choice. I'm Joel Campos. You can find me on Twitter at Campos63, twitch.tv/Campos63. Follow us on Twitter at Pixel Street. Check out our pinned tweet there. You can join our Discord for our community game nights. See pictures of me being sweaty as shit after playing VR for an hour. See pictures of dogs. I post pictures of my dog every once in a while. Go subscribe to us on YouTube because we just hit 100 subs. We will have that sweet custom URL hopefully by the next podcast. Might not be next week because we are... Ooh, John, bad news, bud.
Did we lose one?
Yeah, we lost a subscriber. We're
No!
So maybe by next week. Who knows? But...
Hopefully.
John, where are you at on the internet?
I am at Revik Shadows on Twitter. You can also find my writing on gameper.com. Also on Pixel Street Videos. Yesterday, I put up a video going over the newest Back 4 Blood trailer. So if you're really excited for Back 4 Blood, check that out. They showed a new special infected in there. Very exciting stuff. Can't wait for that game.
Can't wait. As always, we'll be back right here either next week or the following week with episode 144 of the Pixel Street Podcast.
Bye!